Alright, should be live. We are playing MLB The Show 22 for the first time today. I know it's been out a couple days now in early release, and I am finally ready to check it out and perhaps talk about bringing a new series here to my second channel. Really hope the audio's balanced fine and everything. But if you're watching this after the stream is live, you can scroll down below. I'll try to put in timestamps if you want to check out gameplay in a certain mode. I'm not sure exactly what I'm getting into tonight, but if you want to see something specific, see if it's down there. But welcome to today's live stream, everybody. I haven't gone live here to do just a regular old stream in a while, but today we are getting to MLB 22 to see what we have this year, and I think I want to do a little more on the second channel this year in terms of the show. I spent a lot of time on the game in MLB 21, and I did a little bit here on the second channel with my Rule 5 rebuild. Made me want to do more, because I haven't done a lot with the show on this channel in a few years. Also, before I forget, I did receive a code for this game from PlayStation and Sony San Diego. Just have to disclose that I did get a code from them so I can play. And they also sent me some other stuff here in a box that was pretty cool. But yes, they did give me a code for the game. But this has been a game that I've been pretty much playing every year and really enjoying, especially with the Twins and Rockies series. Rebuild the A's on the second channel. I have a question though. Will they allow me to spend any money? What I'm thinking this year though is maybe getting back to Road to the Show. I haven't played in like 4 years. That was the last time I played it at all. And I want to see what they've done with it. And I just love that, you know, with the version on the Switch, you know, you can switch to a different console, and I really wanted to see what the Road to the Show experience is like on the Switch. I haven't played that version, but just to see my formula for player-based content again. I've gone away from it for a few years, so it might be good to give it a shot again. And thank you, Steagles fan, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Why don't we get into a quick exhibition game, just my first full game here, and we will go from there and then talk about what else we want to get into. But my first game is just going to be the opening day matchup, Twins and the Mariners, and that'll be, I think, at Target Field, right? And they say they're pitching Joe Ryan. They acquired him in the Nelson Cruz trade last year, and he had some really good outings, but only made 5 starts. Do we throw out Joe Ryan, or do we... Let's throw out Sonny Gray. They're gonna throw Robbie Ray at me. Let's go Sonny Gray. There is new commentary, and it's dope. I haven't really... well, I don't usually have commentary on at all, just because I want to be able to have my gameplay loud and not hear the commentators. Man, have they rebalanced the overalls a bit? Because Arise being a 70 just feels a little bit low to me. I get that he's like a pure contact guy, but just to see 70 here, I mean, most players, when you're playing in franchise that are on your big league roster, are closer to 80. But if they've kind of rebalanced things a little bit, I do like widening kind of the useful overall scale, and having players in a wider range helps separate skill levels a bit better. But I like the way this lineup looks. Let's go. How is the quality, by the way? Yeah, Correa's only an 87. I think that it's just harder to achieve a higher overall rating, and you really have to have a more complete skill set to get there. Like, everything at a high level. One thing I noticed here is you have this fan cam, and when I loaded in to get my thumbnail shot, I was in left field, where I could see the standing room area there, or actually right field. And I wanted to do that again. But you can actually rotate that camera now, see the fans. Interface looks a little different. I do think it looks good. Quality looks good. Excellent. I think I'm streaming in 60 frames. Like, I record now everything at 60 frames a second. And it's just streaming at it now. So I'm like, all right, if my internet can handle it and I'm, you know, I'm on fiber, I better be able to handle it.
Leading off the afternoon for Seattle.
All right, Adam Frazier. Okay, I haven't kept up with every little move this offseason, but Frazier was on the Padres at the end of last year, right? That was a trade deadline acquisition. Juan Soto was like an 88. Is he really? Because you'd think he'd be in the mid-90s at least. I do believe the show 22 is on Xbox Game Pass. All right, shows the player name there. And that gold icon. Hit it to Correa. We'll have him hitting here pretty soon.
Number 23, Ty France.
I have all my settings in here from like my franchise and MLB 21, along with my batting camera. I pretty much recreated it. I got like a screenshot of Byron Buxton at Target Field, and I used it to create my camera all over again. There we go. So yeah, I'm not using like a pitch meter. I use very specific settings here on the show because when I'm playing franchise, I like as much as I can have to be very ratings based. And I plan to make a video actually going through my settings for those of you that want to create your own franchise, and to show you the settings I play on that I recommend, and just go through what they all kind of do, because the game throws a lot of mechanics at you that you don't have to use. But I mean, they have introduced a lot of hitting and pitching mechanics, but when they bring in new ones, they don't throw out the old ones. You can do whatever you want. And I guess I play very traditional with my settings. I have no PCI when I'm playing. I don't use a pitch meter or the pinpoint pitching, because when I'm playing, I'm usually playing franchise. I played 7 minutes of Diamond Dynasty last year. That's what my profile said, 7 minutes. And in that 7 minutes, all I did was go and buy one of Connor Joe's cards, because I could. Urshela, recovering, got him. So I always play to have the most ratings-based outcomes. And that's what my settings are here to do. I'm looking forward to checking out the trade logic, yes, but I will still be playing MLB 21 to continue my Rockies franchise. I am disappointed they did not bring in year-to-year saves this year, because that's a very key feature for me. I played 4 years of franchise with the Rockies in the last year, and I need a lot more to really finish that franchise. Whew. I'm really happy to hear good things about the Switch version, because there's a lot of, you know, a lot of games have gone to Switch, but the ports are in varying qualities. And I really wanted this to be a good one. Because like Pocket RPG, I mean, to have Switch on the go to play Road to the Show, to me is like a dream scenario. So I'm still playing with my Rockies franchise on 21 on my main channel. Over here, I'm planning on doing a Road to the Show. I want to check that mode out and at least try it out. It's been 4 years. I'm not saying I'll commit to like a full, deep series, but at least to try it out. First at-bat. Well, I actually had one at-bat before I got my thumbnail. I hit a single with Buxton, but... Ooh, that's going left center. That's extra bases. Buxton to second. We won't get too greedy here. What position are you thinking? Well, I'd say Byron Buxton's a pretty good archetype. A speedy outfielder with some pop. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I did Jordan Starks 4 years ago in MLB 17 or 18, and that was a shortstop series. I think I go back to the outfield this time. I'm really not sure what the A's have been doing this offseason. Like, last year, I really liked that roster. Top to bottom, I thought it was a really good team. And now they've just deconstructed the whole thing. It's...
Batting third, the shortstop.
I think it would be really tough to come into this year as an A's fan and be at all excited for the season, you know? Alrighty, Carlos Correa, my first at-bat with him here in MLB 22. Got that curveball and can't even advance Buxton. 2 down.
Batting fourth, the second baseman, Jorge Polanco.
Who'd the Padres add today? Sean Manaea? Yeah, Padres are in good shape. They kind of fell apart last year, obviously, but I don't know. I still believe in that team. I think they have a really good core, and they've brought in so much pitching the last couple of years that I think they should be able to complete the season this year and probably be a playoff team. Yeah, I know. The Pirates... The A's are kind of doing what the Pirates always do. It's just like... It didn't feel like the time to hit the reset button for the A's at all. Into center. Is that going to fall in? No. What's my first run scored in this game going to be? Here in the show 22. A home run? That's what I'm kind of thinking, especially with this lineup. I mean, it can happen at any time unless I'm hitting with, like, a rise.
The right fielder, Mitch Haniger.
Nope, ball one. Count 1-0.
But yeah, I'm streaming over here on this channel because I wanted to talk about, you know, doing a series as that's down the line. Can we cut it off? We did. It's a single. A nice single. Home run, sac fly. We'll see what it ends up being. But I wanted to stream over here because I wanted to get some feedback from those subbed to this channel. Sometimes I just assume that everybody's assumed subscribed to both, but that's not always the case. But this is where I'd want to do a new series. I've thought about March to October. I've thought about just a full franchise, but just to be realistic about what I can get done with my time, probably just best focusing on, like, Road to the Show. And I've actually had that itch to play some player-based series again. It's been a while. Suarez strikes out. I just didn't have the urge to play anything player-based for a long time, and it finally came back probably a few months ago. What did I miss? Nothing at all, Jaden, honestly. Not even a run. You missed me hit a double with Buxton. That's about it. This is my very first game on the show 22. I'm only subbed to this one. Yeah, I mean, not everybody wants to watch both channels, as that is a wild miss going to the backstop here. Sonny Gray getting some nice strikeouts. I better see some of this season. I'm actually really excited about the Twins trading for Sonny Gray. It's just not the kind of move they've usually made. They've gone after a lot of teams' 4th or 5th starters to pitch in a large role, like Ricky Nolasco. Now, there was a big signing for them back a handful of years ago. I think they still have more work to do, though. Like, the pitching staff doesn't feel complete. We got him to chase 3 times. Let's go. Yes, I do YouTube full-time, Ryan. What about a March to October? That could be fun. I'm just more interested in Road to the Show. Make a Vladimir Guerrero right fielder for the career experiment. A Vlad-type player. I definitely want to have someone who can hit some home runs. I think I will end up doing Like, if it depends how much control you get over creating your player, but I like a speedy outfielder that has some power. I've done some outfielders in the past that are like contact first, but you know what? I kind of like home runs now. Kane, I remember watching your Octodad series. That is a throwback. Great game too, Octodad. Back like 2014 that came out.
Batting sixth.
You know, I thought about doing a two-way player as well, but I do think it would slow down the pace of the season and series. I do think it'd be fun. Like, years ago when I would play Road to the Show, I wasn't actually using these hitting settings. I was trying to get used to the analog swinging, and I think there might have been some, like, PCI aiming involved. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But I couldn't get used to it. I could not hit. So I just gave up and decided to play pitcher Road to the Show. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is really fun. And now, like, the chance to do a two-way deal, I think would be enticing if I had the time. Because I just think that adding the pitcher side of things would slow it down a little bit. It can also be closers, so it doesn't go by too slow. Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know they did that. I do remember Irvin Santana. He did have a really good year with the Twins. Did I check? No. That was an ugly inning. I think I struck out all 3 times. Robbie Ray's got good stuff, though.
Leading off for Seattle, the left fielder, number 10.
I did not see the Tim Anderson suspension, no. I don't think I've seen anything that's gone on today. Way out in front. Okay, it's actually showing their swing timing there now. I don't think it usually did that before. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from Gary Sanchez with the Twins this year. Like, I like Garver. That trade still kind of confuses me, them trading him to the Rangers, but that move helped them send Donaldson there and get, you know, Urshela and Sanchez in return. So I don't mind, like, the overall end result, but did you really have to trade Garver to make this all work? Because I would rather have Garver than Sanchez. New series? What's that mean? I'd like to start a new series here on the channel. And maybe I'll try out some other rebuild franchise things. You know, I did my Rule 5 rebuild, but this year I'm going to give Road to the Show a chance again. It's been 4 years. I was wondering if any of you have tried Road to the Show this year. What you think of it so far? I haven't watched any videos on it yet, but I'm hoping that it feels fresh. I haven't played in 4 years. Going to relocate the A's for my franchise this year. That sounds interesting. Where are you sending them? And thank you for the super chat, Colton. Oh, they're chasing everything. The circle changed from Sonny Gray. That's number 4 in a row.
The batter.
I think Sanchez can bounce back this year. I mean, I'm not banking on like a high average or anything. I'm worried about the defense. And then, is there at least enough power? Like, there are plenty of catchers in the league who just play solid defense, bat 200, and like hit a home run once a month. Obviously, Sanchez can hit 30 home runs if he gets hot for a couple of months. But I'm just hoping that defensively he's not a liability. And let's be real here, like, the Twins pitching as it sits right now, I mean, isn't that an easier situation for a catcher? You don't have a bunch of guys throwing wild stuff. I think that, you know, if you're worried about balls getting past him, maybe that's less of a concern with the Twins pitchers. Does that make any sense? Man, they just love chasing these pitches. Everything's getting it done. Maybe individual franchise realistic rebuilds, like one-shot rebuilds, Dawson. I have thought about that. It's just very difficult for me to summarize anything in like one video. Not usually what I do. I'd like to, but it's just every time I get into something, it's just natural for me to want to make it a huge series or to make it multiple parts and to make it more than it should be, and then it takes a long time. Portland, Vegas, or OKC? And then make your own stadium, perhaps? Oh, things are going well so far here. Just playing my first game. I'm not hitting the ball well. I've never been great at, like, streaming the show and playing. Like, my eyes going back and forth, not as focused as I would be during my normal recordings. That and Robbie Ray is just pretty good. But I'm way too late on these swings. I have thought about NHL, but it'd be me getting, like, into it at the ground level. I mean, I don't have any hockey knowledge whatsoever. Same goes for playing FIFA. And I've thought about playing it, and then those games come out, and I'm like, I don't have the time for this. Madden just came out not that long ago. I have barely enough time to do what I want to do there. Ooh, that's down the line. Urshela with a base hit. Not quite the double. Someone take those seats and push them back a few feet.
The center fielder, number 25, Byron Buxton.
Yeah, I think I'll check out of the Park when that comes out later in the month. My favorite random player of all time? Well, I mean, as a Twins fan, I think we've all loved Willians Astudillo. Now I think, I forget what team he went to. He definitely had a big following, though. I'm not sure that's the best answer. Like, he had T-shirts and everything. He was a fan favorite. I remember back in the day, I really liked Lou Ford as well for the Twins. I pretty much liked everybody on the Twins. Anybody remember Lou Ford? All right, 3-2 to Buxton. And that's on the ground, and he's going to reach. You got to make a clean play if you want to get Buxton. I think Buxton would be in the MVP conversation if he played enough games, yeah. I mean, I wanted him to get the contract he got. With as much talent as he has, I mean, you just hope he stays healthy. He's a rare player. Can't wait to see Shohei Ohtani pitch opening day. I'm so ready for baseball season. So ready for opening day this week. All right. So we're close maybe to getting my first run of the year on the show 22. How is it going to come around? Maybe we score on an error. No. Ignore that. It's pretty much my same batting camera, so I don't think it's me getting used to that. I think it's just Robbie Ray's giving me trouble. All right. Better not like snow out opening day for the Twins or anything. I really want to watch them on Thursday. Got a piece. Full count to Arise. Ooh, that's up the middle. Stopped at second. They're going to get one. Runners at the corners now. Oh, look who it is. I love to score my first run or runs with Carlos Correa at the plate. Let's see what we got here. Runners at the corners. In the air, deep right field, and carrying. This one's caught. Gave it a ride. So I haven't gotten into franchise myself yet, but I did watch the video they put out a couple weeks ago talking about some of the trade logic and some of the things that the CPU logic is updated there. And I think it's going to be pretty good stuff for CPU teams a few years into your franchise, making moves that make sense, making trades that make sense so they can be competitive. There aren't like a lot of franchise moves, and sorry, my voice.
The designated hitter, Jesse Winker.
But they didn't add a lot to franchise, but the stuff they added to me is really important for those that want to go deep in their franchises and see competitive teams around them. That makes sense. And off seasons that makes sense as well. So maybe we'll check out some of that, do like a mock off season and see what happens there. Maybe try out the trades. I've seen some good things about the trade logic. But I hope you're enjoying this pitcher's duel. No one's really doing much scoring. Sonny Gray is having quite the outing here for me. So at this point, I don't plan on doing a franchise in 22. I want to still play my Rockies in 21. But I want to check out other stuff to do on the second channel. There's Road to the Show. I could do a more condensed rebuild, like my Rule 5 rebuild. All right, we can't just go low and away every time. 2-2. Got him! So that shield, I think, will be just like, you know, players have like bronze, silver, gold quality. I think that's all it's referring to, like their overall, basically. It's probably something that's pretty popular for Diamond Dynasty. It's their fielding ability. Oh! Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that wasn't in 21, so I wasn't quite sure. Ooh, left center. That's getting down. Let's get 2 on this. Yes. Going all the way to the wall. Polanco into second with a double. I have thought about March to October, yes.
The first baseman, number 22, Miguel Sano.
About how long does it take to get through one of those, would you say? Like the regular season portion. Obviously, playoffs, I think, lets you play every single game. So we got our second double. Now we got to get our first run. Ooh, in the air, left field. Get out of here. Nope. Man. Did you guys want to see any Diamond Dynasty tonight? I know I don't play Ultimate Team, Diamond Dynasty here on the channels. I haven't played Ultimate Team in years. Diamond Dynasty, it's been a few. I'm more interested in this one than any of the other card collecting modes, just because I found it more fun to watch and the collecting of players to be more interesting. I don't know if anybody wants to see that over here. Don't have a huge Diamond Dynasty following, but we could get into it to just check it out a little bit. I got a friend who plays a lot of Diamond Dynasty, and he's always sending me stuff about his team. And I remember I got the Connor Joe last year. As Kepler drives one to right center, we're on the board. There you go. A Max Kepler lefty-lefty double is how we score our first run on 22.
Now batting, the pitcher, Gary.
Yeah, Nick, I get that. I think that rebuilds are more my thing in general, but I do enjoy a good player-based thing when I am hungry for it, and it's just been so long. I mean, 4 years since I've touched Road to the Show at all. 4 years. Ooh, I tried to hit that one out. That was a power swing. I've heard there is an issue with the stamina degradation. Has something changed there? Because I thought they always, like, made it so pitchers would lose their stamina pretty quickly, just so you can get through a 3-inning game and maybe need to use the bullpen. I normally hate how all the Ultimate Teams are pay to play, but I find Diamond Dynasty more enjoyable since most cards are obtainable by playing the game. Yeah, that's key for me because I wouldn't be buying packs with actual money. I'm sure by them giving me this early release copy, and yes, I did get the game from PlayStation and Sony San Diego. I'm guessing there's something in the edition I got. Like, I think right now if you like have the early release version, whatever, it gives you some packs, but I would be no money spent, obviously. Hey, Agitator, happy birthday. Hope you're having a good Sunday, enjoying yourself.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Down.
I want more than one. Ah, Conquest is always fun to watch. See, I played Conquest like 4 or 5 years ago, and to me it got super stale. Did they do anything with Conquest to make the grind more fun?
Leading off for the Mariners, the third baseman, Eugenio.
Only 1 hit allowed to this point for Sonny Gray. Hey, it's going pretty good, Henry. Just enjoying the show 22, playing my very first game here. We're up 1-0. Favorite thing I've got on the shelf behind me. I really like, is it the Decidueye on screen there? I really like the Decidueye. It's one of my favorite Pokemon they've introduced in the last few gens. On the ground, Urshela at third. I spent about 10 hours yesterday doing the Conquest US map. Can't say I enjoyed it. Well, 10 hours of doing that in one day? I don't know. I'd have to see what is there. Like, I definitely wouldn't be like a heavy Diamond Dynasty player. And I don't think that's what most people want to see from me content-wise.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And I can't do everything. I mean, I got a couple big series now on the main channel. I have my franchise with the Giants over here on this channel. I want to add a Road to the Show. At some point, there is too much.
Ball 3.
Oh, absolutely, Wesley. I love what that studio creates. All right, we're going slider here. 3-2. All right, that was not even close.
The center field.
The additions they made for franchise JC, it wasn't a lot, but it's the stuff I thought needed the dressing. Like, CPU logic is really key if you want to have a franchise that stays competitive and other teams can really challenge you when you get further in and you're trying to win championships. And you also don't want to see, the CPU making silly moves, getting rid of players they shouldn't, making bad trades. I feel like that logic is really, really important. So I'm glad if it's the main thing they wanted to do this year, it was the right choice, I'd say.
Full count.
We got full count again here. Maybe someone's got to get warm. Who do I want to warm up here? I like Alcala. Let's at least stretch him. All right, I'm throwing the slurve. Gary Sanchez called for it, and that's missed. Oh, no. Left center, and gone. Gary Sanchez called for it. He had low confidence in it. It was a risky call. I remember you from the backyard baseball days. I'm always like shocked that people remember those videos, but they're like some of my most viewed. It wasn't like a huge thing I did either. Like I've been playing Madden and other stuff for years, but that game was just, you know, a handful of episodes, and all the time people say that's how they found the channel.
The batter, the left fielder.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, I really wasn't sure what would be best, but I just went through a lot of what other people do on Operation Sports so I could find the right recruiting restrictions. Because NCAA 14's recruiting is pretty basic. And honestly, I think recruiting in that game is actually one of the most overrated things. Like, it's fun building a team in NCAA, but the actual recruiting is not great compared to previous games. They really streamlined it, made it so basic. I didn't have a lot of experience playing Dynasty before that, but going back to some of the other games, like, recruiting was, I think, a lot better in earlier games. You actually had to, I feel like, develop more of a relationship with the player, and they were soft commit versus hard commit. And that was back in NCAA 13, that was a feature. They took it out for 14. I would hope that they can do something better than 14's recruiting system, considering that the next college football game is going to basically be 10 years after NCAA 14. You better evolve. I remember watching Lego City Uncovered back in the day. Undercover, yeah. That was a good time. You had to actually call the recruit, right? Yes, and then determine how much time you wanted to spend talking to them, what you wanted to talk about, and they could hang up on you if they didn't like what you had to say. It was a little tedious after a while, but it's a better system than just dumping points in every week, and then offer scholarship and visit are the only real ways to interact. All right, we got to get a couple runs here. Buxton up with a runner on first base. Let's see if Ray gets a little tired now and leaves one of those breaking balls over the middle. He's due for that. On the ground, chopped to short. That's going to be one, almost two. Probably not. I don't think they would add anything like that to the new NCAA game. I was doing my Red Sox series in MLB 21, and in the year one off season, I added Brandon Nimmo in a trade, and then I saw that the Rays traded Wander Franco for some C potential prospects. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you definitely don't want to see. There was some stuff I didn't like in mine. One of the Rays' best young pitchers, I think it was, who's the lefty? McClanahan. They traded McClanahan for Bobby Witt. And it was like, all right, there's no reason to make this trade. And the Royals definitely wouldn't agree to it. They shouldn't, but just one of those things. Taken off for second. Can't let Buxton just stay at first base. What's the thing I want to see most with the new NCAA game? I want to see a fun recruiting experience, honestly. Like, I think One of the reasons is that's going to get stopped, and it's out number 2. But I think what makes Dynasty so special and why everybody loves NCAA is just the grind of building a team is unlike any other sports game. It's like a true RPG feel to it. I guess in like baseball games you get that feeling as well, but I think NCAA gives you a little more instant gratification because you could play a freshman recruit, whereas in baseball, you're still waiting and developing players in the minor leagues. Ooh. But I think to make that grind even more replayable and to be more challenging, I think is absolutely crucial. I will be playing Road to the Show again this year. I'm at least going to try it out. I won't commit to like a huge series, but I want to try it out. And if I have fun and people are enjoying the content, I'd love to do Road to the Show again on here. 1-2 to Correa. Oh, I got jammed. That was the pitch, too. Like I told you, he was going to eventually leave one up like that. Exactly, Ryan. Like, you can't get too comfortable at any point because the most you're going to get out of any player is 4 seasons. And if they're a great player, the system should be in place for them to go pro probably early. Back up the middle. Polanco. Got him. And also, I think it's very crucial, and it's been 10 years since they've made a college football game. And one thing I'm, a little worried about to see how they handle is, like, the differences between the college and pro game. You don't want it to feel like Madden with college uniforms. In college football, there's a lot more scoring. There are more big plays. I feel like there's a lot of ways you need to tweak the gameplay to replicate that style of play.
Count is 1 and 2.
And there are a lot of different, types of offenses there. When you have options and RPO offenses and spread, pro style, there's a lot of variety, and they need to balance it better than in 14, where the option was pretty OP. What are the basics to the Show franchise? So, I would say the main thing is you have your AA team and your AAA team, where you're able to play those games anytime you want, but the core is definitely developing players down there and having a full team. You're managing 90 players at once, and then you're drafting every year to try to get top prospects and add to your system. Nice. Oh, that's a cool little graphic. But yeah, like minor league systems are pretty important in franchise mode. But then it's like any other franchise mode, playing your games at the big league level. I think that the injury management is a little more interesting than some other games. You do have to worry about player energy on a day-to-day basis. It forces you to use your bench. The off-season is pretty simple, really. I think they've even streamlined a couple things in this game. I'll have to take a look. Still throwing that curveball. They're getting more hittable.
The first baseman, number 22, Miguel Sano.
Just a little too early on that one. That should tie the game. And now we got 0-2. Man, good pitch. 8 strikeouts for Robbie Ray trying to complete the 6th. This would probably be it for him.
Max Kepler.
Check out my bullpen here. Probably get Alcala in the next inning. Switch it up.
One ball, one strike.
That was one of my best swings of the day. I haven't had a perfect one yet.
Ball, that's out.
All right. See if we can get him on for Gary Sanchez. They might have to pull him if he gets the Sanchez. I don't think you leave him in with that low energy against that power. And it's going to have to be decision time here for Seattle. I just don't... One, I was never good with those hitting interfaces, and I just like the ratings mattering more. You know, I just want to hit a button, the player swings, and their ratings kind of determine what happens. Gary Sanchez. Ooh. What's it gonna be here? Bottom of the 6th inning. That's in the air left center. We caught up to the fastball. It's hit deep, and it's gonna leave! Gary Sanchez puts us in front. I thought they would actually take out Robbie Ray if this was the at-bat that would decide the inning, basically. I didn't think it would leave. I didn't think my swing was quite good enough right away. Yeah, directional hitting. I thought the Garver trade was kind of confusing to me because I really like Garver. I know he had kind of a down season a year ago, but I mean, he's a catcher who hits well, so not always the position you want to be the most picky, you know? Plenty of catchers who don't hit meaningfully at all. I did warn Seattle, I did. Indeed. Have I thought about growing my hair out? Not really. I've never really liked growing my hair out.
That's ball 2. I got 2-1 to count.
Why do I only watch and not play the games in my Giants franchise? That one's ripped into right, but he got to it. It makes it more ratings based. And what I like is nothing I do with the controller then can like override the players, and I really have to build the best team I can.
Your attention, please.
If that makes sense. So the reason why I don't play in that series is because when I first started making content like that, I wanted it to be all about like rebuilding without me just being able to play and win with whatever team. So I wanted the players that truly matter, and that series just exploded into multiple series now I've been doing for years. And actually, that was about the time I stopped playing Road to the Show. That was beginning of 2018. I discovered that format that worked for me. But the main reason is it just makes the players matter so much. You know, I can't have a 70 overall quarterback and just user him to a good season. I have to actually build the right team, and then they have to go and play well. There's just so much more drama to me and keeps me more engaged, honestly, not playing. I like the GM side of sports games the most.
Leading off for the Mariners, the shortstop, JP.
Real player bias in slow sim? Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, I do plan on playing Road to the Show. I just am not playing it right now. I've talked about that already. I want to make an outfielder and try it out for the first time in a while. That's why I enjoyed the head coach series. Yeah, it's just a different way of playing sports games. Testing the managerial side, like, I'm way more drawn to sports games as a strategic player over a skill player. Like, I don't really care about head-to-head trying to beat somebody else at the game. I care about getting immersed into building a team and experiencing the same ups, downs, and challenges that a real team would feel. Only my experience is unique, and that sucks to not get that strike. I don't know, Alcala's going this whole inning. He's already at 14 pitches. We don't have an out. Oh, how many good pitches does he have to throw? Sanchez wants the fastball. We're going slider instead. Wow, he chased it, but Gary couldn't block it. We got the out.
The batter, the center fielder, Julio Rodriguez.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever really seen that happen. So it was, you know, like a pass ball on a third strike. It goes into the bullpen, or the dugout, rather. So the out of play gives the lead runner third base. It's kind of unfortunate. Hey, Kane Love from Ireland. Hey, you're staying up to catch the baseball stream. Love it. Thank you for being here. As an Astros fan, I'm happy Correa went to the Twins. I'm pretty excited. I mean, that was one of the last things I expected. The Twins don't typically make moves like that. And that's going to tie the game here. I mean, it's like the biggest free agent signing they've ever made. Right after they gave Byron Buxton big money. After making the Sonny Gray trade, it was just not at all what I expected. But I'm very glad it happened. Wait. Oh, I meant to warm him up. Oh, no. I wanted to get Duffy warm before putting in Thielbar to go lefty-lefty. Let's hope this goes all right. From Alaska? What's going on, Garrett? Alaska. I can't say I have too many viewers who pop in and say greetings from Alaska. Yeah, slow it down when you're on the pitching menu because you might put in the wrong guy. It's spring training for me, that's right. Ignore the fact that I've been playing the Rockies franchise for the last 12 months. It's spring training for me too. When you have a QB or any player, really, the game tends to be a bit more biased towards... I'm not sure what you really mean. Like real versus the randomly created. I don't think there's... I think it all just boils down to ratings and traits. And I think the generated players can be just as good. I don't think that either are really better. There are certain player archetypes sometimes that the draft will miss out on that just don't come up enough. I mean, he wasn't ready to come in and now he can't find the zone. Oh, I just need one out here, Tyler. I need a strike, too. Hello from Florida. Appreciate you being here. I'll probably go back to head coach 09 at some point. Didn't find the time this past season. Oh, I gotta get out of this inning, man. I have to leave. I really wish that game was on PC instead. Because it runs so poorly on PlayStation 3. Yeah. No! No! How was supposed to have out 3, Gary? No! Gary Sanchez, come on, man. Oh, this is awful. He did not just do that. Oh, no. Now, I'm going to be making a video this week talking about my settings I like to play on in franchise. And I want to show, like, the experience of fielding using my settings. That's going to be a perfect clip for it. Because it's all down to ratings. It's not how well you are with the meter. Are you using a good player who has good fielding ratings? Because if not, get ready for a ride. Urshela, get him! All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me with the traditional 7-inning stretch.
Let's untie the game now.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
Sergio Romo.
now pitching for Seattle.
I liked when he went to the Twins a couple years back in that trade. Just an energetic guy. He's really fun.
Leading off for the Twins, the third baseman, number 15.
Gio Urshela's already 2 for 2. Ah, way out in front. See, adjusting to Romo is going to take me a minute. And by the time I adjust, the inning's going to be done and he'll be out. Like, these speeds and his delivery, I'm not used to. Come on. So this is custom. Based off of Fisheye 2. So if you wanted to like make my camera, if you happen to like it, because I already made it just a couple hours ago, I go Fisheye 2. I like to tilt the camera a bit. Just gives me a better idea, you know, top to bottom of the strike zone. I can read pitches a little bit easier. And then I zoom in a decent bit as well. And here at Target Field, I like my strike zone, the top of it, to be like just under the target field signage. But that's basically my camera right there I play on. There it is right there. So I almost recreated it perfectly there.
The center fielder,
Been using this camera for a few years. I like having, you know, the corners, the edges of my screen are third and first base. I like it zoomed in a decent bit. I want to see the stance and everything. And I feel like I'm able to track pitches fairly well here. Although, judging by this gameplay, not sure that's the case. Down the line and just foul. I haven't had like any throws from the outfield to even try it out. They're not getting on base. I'm not having to throw. There haven't been a lot of balls put in play that I've had to make a lot of defensive plays on for some reason. Everything is just low and slow from him. I don't like it. 2 to Buxton. See you later. Now, when Romo's throwing these like 78-mile-per-hour sliders, what do you think I'm going to do with Buxton? I'm just wondering if if he pitches out, does it even matter? He might pitch out here, so I'm still... Yeah. He won't do it this time, right? I don't pitch out 2-0 very often. Luis Arise 2-0. Ah. Yep, Hall of Fame difficulty for everything. Just the difficulty I enjoy the most. I can get blown out, I can blow out the CPU, anything can really happen. You haven't missed too much. Hit my first home run with Gary Sanchez in this game. This is my first game of the show 22. That feels so slow. I feel like I'm waiting a year and a half to swing at that pitch. What more do you want me to do, man? Buxton's getting tired. Is that a thing? Can he get tired from having to, like, come back to first? I've told him to steal, like, 7 times in a row. Are you more confident in the Twins or Vikings making the playoffs this year? That's a great question. Am I more confident in the Twins or the Vikings? I'm pretty close to even with both. I'd probably say the Vikings, because the NFC is overall fairly weak. There are 3 wild card spots, and there's a really good offense there. So I would give the Vikings an edge over the Twins, because so much comes down to the Twins pitching. Carlos Correa, tie game, $30 million contract a year. What do we got? Romo's still like, I'm going to throw a slider down here every time. Oh, up the middle, we hit him in the arm. Correa out at first. That should have been an RBI single, but Romo's forearm, I think, got in the way. Score that play. 1, 2, 3. Hit that really well. I mean, that can't feel great. Bang. At least it's his non-throwing. Jorge Polanco, man, he was like one of the only positive parts of the team last year. He was so good. I didn't know he had that in him, honestly. 2 in scoring position. 2-0 to Polanco. With Sano on deck. Do they take their chances with Sano? Let's, France. I don't think I want a lefty up this inning. I haven't really been preparing for this. Three and 0. Green light, of course. I just don't handle up and in that well. I'm a little hit or miss there. I've gotten a lot better at it. Ooh, I think that's the pitch I've been waiting for. Clearly I wasn't waiting for it there, though. I mean, my favorite part of that trade was getting rid of Donaldson's salary. And, you know, Urshela, I thought was a nice addition. I don't know about Gary Sanchez. We'll see. I like Garver more, and they traded away him. But, I mean, to shed that salary to add Correa was like a dream come true. Polanco off the glove at second base. He's going to reach. Twins take the lead. What a battle here in the 7th inning. 31 pitches for Sergio Romo. Finally got my first perfect swing. It still almost got out. That's the second time, though, I'm like, maybe you should go to the bullpen, and they kept him in a little too long. Oh, yeah, Polanco is fantastic. I hope he can pick up where he left off. Oh, the perfect swings is one of my favorite things they added to the game. It's just so satisfying every time. It's such a rewarding sound when you can get that perfect swing. Oh, I can't believe I did that. I'm a tad late there. I'm on the late side of good. It says good timing, but I'm on the late side of the window. And that's going to lead to less good contact. I want to be on the early side of good, not late. Joe Smith. Maybe I should have gotten, oh yeah, Duffy is the setup guy. And of course, I don't want to talk about it. Weird to see France not on the Rockies. I know, I've gotten used to that in my Rockies franchise. Quite fond of Ty France over there. Would I ever consider doing a Moneyball franchise? Absolutely. I think that's right down my alley. I love the idea of having to find all those bargain players and build a team on a budget, very constrained budget. I should do something like that in Madden. Like,
the designated hitter, Jesse.
there's obviously a salary cap there, but I could always say, you know, I can only use 60%, let's say, whatever. What's the actual floor in the NFL on a percentage basis most of the time? On the ground, Correa. Got him.
Now batting, the right fielder, Mitch.
All right, we got two. Oh boy, he missed. That's into center.
The batter, the third baseman.
I don't know much about those prospects. I know that they're supposed to be, you know, the next big stars. I'm really intrigued, though, by Rushman. I forget how to say his name. I've read it so many times, but Adley Rutschman. I'll have to. Not quite sure, but I've been waiting for him to get his chance. Is he, what's the status of some of those guys on the big league rosters to start this year? Are we going to see Bobby Witt finally? And these guys going to be on the day one, the opening day? NFL salary floor is usually like 85, 90. Yeah, and honestly, you can be very competitive spending at the floor. You just have to have little dead money and
Ladies and gentlemen,
some good team-friendly contracts.
Now playing right field, Billy.
People say Billy Bean ruined baseball. Do you agree? No.
Leading
I
off
like
for
that.
the
I
Twins,
like what has
right
brought
fielder,
on Moneyball,
Kepler.
or the ability to. I mean, it's changed a lot because the edge was that he was doing what other teams weren't. Therefore, he was finding a market inefficiency and being able to build a good team for less money. That's more difficult because now everybody knows what to look for. Everybody's using advanced analytics. And it's not really an edge anymore. What I don't like is when team owners say, all right, like a forced money ball. I don't like that at all. I think, you know, when you are a bad team, a bad franchise, it does not make sense for you to spend big money. That's where I think, you know, I like Moneyball. But when it's just you're being cheap and you're saying, be really efficient, just, I'm not really into that. That's why I don't like what the A's are doing this year, because I feel that it does their fans a disservice. They had a good team and they've deconstructed it. Oh, where's Upton now? And I remember Joe Adell getting called up a couple years ago. And then I think last year, wasn't he one of like the best home run hitters at AAA? I remember seeing his numbers at some point, and he was doing a really good job. He had some really good numbers. Upton got cut. Not often guys get straight up cut in baseball. As far as like the timeline, like I don't follow it as closely, but from my vantage point, it was like, hey, the A's got a pretty good team here. This doesn't make any sense. But timeline-wise, with like guys hitting free agency and whatnot, if you were to, you know, start over, was this the time, in your opinion? Yeah, I think I remember Brandon Marsh doing a good job last year. Yes, I am thinking Road to the Show this year. It's been 4 years since I even played the mode, so I've gotten the itch again after all this time. I'm hoping Marsh becomes our next Mark Trumbo. Yeah, you take that. Nice power hitting outfielder. Take that any day. This would have been the time. Too many guys coming up free agency next 1 to 2 years. That's in the air to center. Kirilloff gives it a ride, but we're heading to the ninth, up 4-1. Taylor Rogers trying to put this away. It's just like my Rockies franchise.
Now pitching for the Twins, number 55, Taylor Rogers. Leading off for the Mariners, the shortstop, JP.
Keep that down. Right side and Polanco. Easy. 1 down. Who are the best people playing the game?
The center fielder, number 44.
I'm not sure what you're asking, like the best players at the show. I wouldn't have any idea. I don't follow any of that, and I haven't played another person in the show in years. If I do a road to the show, would I use zone hitting? I've thought about how I'd handle my settings, because obviously I take a lot of skill out of the equation just by not using like a PCI or a throwing meter. Now, for road to the show fielding, I would definitely use a meter. I think that would make the most sense. But I still like my style of hitting. I don't know. Oh, come on. 3-2. Got him. What position? I'm thinking center field.
Up next for Seattle.
Would I rather do a Rams win now style roster or the longer route like what Seattle did but still have one championship? If you told me at the end there would be a championship, I would rather do it Seattle's way, because I feel like if I knew I only had one ring, I'd rather see a team develop into that championship team rather than the way the Rams did. There's nothing wrong with the way the Rams did, but I bet you'd enjoy a lot more if they had drafted Jalen Ramsey and had Matt Stafford for a long time, and I think it would make the payoff more enjoyable. Oh, I got away with one there. In comes Kepler, and this game goes to Minnesota. We win 4-3. There is no option for year-to-year saves, unfortunately, in MLB 22, or I would bring in the Rockies. I really wish they had brought in the year-to-year saves. It should have come back. And I hope that they do eventually, but right now it's not there. Yeah, that was pretty good there for my first game. Struck out a bunch against Robbie Ray, but that's going to happen. And we managed to overcome, you know, me throwing in Tyler Duffy completely cold on accident. With the Diamondbacks, you could control Zach Gallen. Finally. Imagine if I was just like terrible at using Zach Gallen.
For the Mariners, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They left 5 men on base.
Come on, mouse, what's wrong?
3 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, I need to get a new USB hub here. My mouse keeps cutting out.
And we remind you to please drive home safely.
So what else should we check out? That's our first full game here playing MLB 22. Nice game. What team besides the Twins do you enjoy watching most? I'd say the last few years I've really enjoyed watching the Padres. I just think that seeing that team be good again has been fun. More competition there in the NL West. Tatis, obviously. Yeah, Mariners was really fun last year as well. I say this all the time, but I mean, during baseball season, I pretty much always have MLB TV on. So I'll watch the Twins, and then what's after that? West Coast baseball all night. Dodgers, Rockies, Giants, Angels, Mariners, all those teams. And it's like all those teams are extremely watchable. Even when the Rockies aren't good, if a game is in Coors, it's all of a sudden watchable because it's the highest scoring environment in the game. And the Rockies have a great commentary team, too. You want me to dive into franchise a little bit here and just take a look at a few things? I do think they managed to improve some things with like two-way players' pitching stamina. I think they're independent now, so like you won't run into the same issues using somebody like Ohtani. They talked about that in like the franchise video. All right, let's go. We're just going to check things out a little bit here. Let me just pick Seattle here. We're not going to do a whole lot. I just want to see the menu, see if anything's changed. Legend free agents, no. GM contracts, no. Turn that off if you want to stay with your team the entire time. By the way, if you keep this on, what happens if you get fired? Can you continue inside your franchise? Or is it like, you know, you're done, your franchise is over, like the sports equivalent to like a permadeath run? You can choose to start in spring or regular season. I want to go regular season. So you still got your phases there. Next one is draft day. You got 2 months to do your scouting here. And you'll be, this looks the same, but you're just choosing, you know, what kind of players do you want us to find? And then, okay, we found a bunch of players that fit that criteria. Maybe you want to find, let's say, you want to find outfielders who have good power and good speed. And we're going to look in the western region or the eastern region because that's where our scout is best. And then as the days simulate, you'll have more players pop up here in your outfield choices. And then the accuracy shows you how much they've been scouted. And then you can choose to have somebody pick a specific player to scout. And then this scouting report will be more accurate the more that they have been scouted, is basically how it works. You can continue, but have to choose a new team. That would be tough. Like, I've never done that. You know, like, build a team, but not do a good enough job so you get fired and have to go somewhere else. I think I'd have a hard time with that. I'd be looking back at my old team like, man, we had a good thing together. We were so close. Why'd you leave me? Thoughts on the T-Wolves? I'm actually like dumbfounded that they're good. You know, I haven't really been watching any basketball, but when the playoffs are here, I will watch some of the Wolves. And I get notifications like whenever they play. And it felt like I was getting notifications every day for weeks that they were winning. I'm like, they beat the Warriors? They beat the Lakers? They beat the Clippers? Like, just win after win after win. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, the scouting, I mean, it doesn't tell you much right away. You just kind of have to know that's how it works. But you'll have way more than just the few options they give you here. I don't know why my throat is so dry. Sorry. Would I rather be a Yankee fan or a Cowboy fan? Cowboy fan. They haven't done anything in like 30 years. Maybe not 30. But last 20, not much. All right, I think my voice and everything has recovered a bit here. But things look, about the same as in 21. The same budget screen, although I think budget is calculated a bit differently now. I don't think all of your minor league players are factored into the budget. I think it's the 40-man roster. Don't quote me on that, but I remember in their video where they talked about franchise updates, it's one of the things they touched on. But a nice view to see, like, contract-wise, how long those players are with you. Although, usually in baseball, it's going to be one-year deals because players end up with renewable contracts and then arbitration, and that takes 6 years before free agency even kicks in. You got training here, which is a place where if you want to just work on a few different areas for players, then you can do this. Now, the colors here are a little more confusing. So you'll notice durability here turns into that like teal. That means it is the rating that's getting the benefit of the training. It's just a little harder to see against this background, and the default text is already bluish, so it can be a little hard to see there. But each training will go to either one attribute or a bucket of them, and you can choose what you want certain players focused on. Say you want to fix a weakness for a guy or really get a player's fielding up, then you can do what you want there. Got the pitching rotation. I do wish they would set things up a little bit more for simulating, where it would be easier to choose like an order of pitchers you want used or situations you want guys used in. Still got this depth chart screen. They introduced this last year, and you can basically zoom out a bit to see, okay, a few years from now, this is what we're projected to have, and it'll kind of project the development of a variety of your players. Like, they're pretty high here on Logan Gilbert. They think that in 2025, he'd be a 93 overall, but today, what is Logan Gilbert? He's an 80. And obviously, there's a lot of development that takes place here in the show, so it's nice to know, like, okay, this guy might be a bit of a project, but this indicates it's worth sticking around to see where he goes. Matt Brash made the Mariners rotation. His slider is insane. I don't think I've heard of him. Where is he on here? Matt Brash. Top 100 prospect, got him from San Diego. Gotcha. You can check out the top prospects in this menu. I'd say overall, this isn't too bad. At least here at the top, I recognize most of the players. Wait, so do they have all the minor league players in here now? Like, Zach Veen has obviously never been to the majors. He was like 2020 first round pick of the Rockies. Xavier Edwards, I have him in my Rockies franchise. Austin Martin. All right, so in this game, he can play all those spots. Yeah, I had some feedback in my Rockies franchise. I will edit Martin to have all those. I need to, oh, I don't got my tablet here to write the note, but I'll remember. It's third, short, all outfield spots. Okay. Royce Lewis as well. So the Twins have 2 top 50s, 3. Still got Jordan Balazovic. Hopefully he's ready soon because Twins need a starter or 3. Although most of the guys they're counting on here are kind of inexperienced young guys. You got Joe Ryan, who's made 5 starts. He's going to play opening day. You got Bailey Ober. You know, you got a couple projects on the team. You know, they brought in Dylan Bundy, and I don't know if Chris Archer is going to be on like a AAA, if he was on like a minor league deal. I don't think Archer's on like opening day projected roster or anything, but they could use another just solid veteran guy. What happened to that 7-foot pitcher the Twins had? Oh, the reliever. Oh, man. Who was that? Yeah, he was like 6'10 or 6'11, but I can't remember his name. Perfect way to finish second in the AL Central. That's what you're going to be doing, Mike. That's what the White Sox are going to be doing. Finishing 3.5 games back, fighting for 3rd place with the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, Ober's pretty tall too. They had another pitcher. Maybe you were thinking of Ober, but I just remember they had a reliever like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago who was close to 7 feet tall, but I can't remember his name. He didn't stick around long. I'll see if I can find him on the Giants. I don't know who he is, so I don't know where he'd be, but there he is. Okay. That didn't take long. 6'11", 225. From Minnesota. John Roush. That's exactly who it is. At least someone he remembers. Now, how long ago was that? Sometimes I randomly think of stuff, and I'm like, oh, that was just the other year. And then it was like 9 years ago, and I'm like, wow, that's really not cool. He played with the Twins from 2009 to 2010. That wasn't even the last decade. No way. Absolutely. I'm not okay with that at all. That's a joke. Someone edited his Wikipedia page because he was a Twin in 2014 or 2015, right? Someone just edited his Wikipedia page to throw me off, right? I can't stand that. I am so old. I really don't like that. So, why don't we... Hey, Mr. Bucks Nation, thank you for the super chat. We're just having some fun here, checking out the show 22. We're just exploring franchise right now. Trying to see if there's anything new to look at. Kind of want to see what the trade logic looks like. Absolutely. So let's see if we can break it. You know, that's what we're here for. Who should we try to break it with? Shohei Ohtani, right? So the 3 highest rated players wouldn't get it done. How about Robbie Ray? Let's go Logan Gilbert. And then do you have any A potential guys here? Kyle Lewis. The budget wouldn't work, but I still think they wouldn't do it. It's not just the budget, right? So I can't offer them Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, and Kyle Lewis for Shohei Ohtani. That's pretty good to see that. It still got fairly close, but not getting it done there. Trevor Story. Did the Rockies even give him the qualifying offer? Like, they really just didn't trade him and then let him walk in free agency, which is like the last thing teams usually do. Did he at least get the qualifying offer so they get a pick? They did not. So they were just like, it was a good 6 years and we're okay just moving on. Bring back San Diego Surf. Maybe one day I'll do something like that again. Have I experienced stick drift with the controller? Not with my DualSense, no. I do use 2 different controllers, but I've not experienced any drifting. Now my Switch Joy-Cons, that's another story. I've gotten 2 or 3 sets repaired. I want to see the Rockies roster right now because I do enjoy watching them. It's part of why I picked them for my franchise. I like watching the Rockies. I think they're a fun underdog team to root for. They're just this, you know, this baseball team that plays in the mountains, and they have to deal with all these big budget West Coast, you know, juggernauts. You got the Giants, who have won a couple World Series recently, the Dodgers, and then the Padres are really good. The Rockies are a fun underdog. Chris Bryant was kind of a random signing for them to me. Like swapping out Story for him. That's even weirder than like Donaldson for Correa. Because to me it was like, it made so much sense. I loved that move. Because Donaldson being as old as he is with the injury concerns. Like I just wasn't a huge fan of that. I wanted to see them do something else. And they certainly did. So you still got CJ Cron. What's he playing on this year? Nice. Because last year, I think he played 1 year, $1 million. And then he goes to Coors, hits 28 home runs. And builds himself up a little market again to hit some more homers. I wonder if he'll just be like a DH for them now. Or he could still play first. Garrett Hampson. Hopefully it works out better for him than in my franchise. Austin Gomber. Hopefully it works out better for him than it did in my franchise. Same for Brendan Rodgers. Connor Joe, 77. They gave him some love. Love Connor Joe. Sam Hilliard. Man, I got rid of this whole roster in my series, didn't I? They just didn't work out for me, man. What was I supposed to do? Let's go back to the trade logic here. See, let's go for one of the top prospects now. Let's try to take Bobby Witt from the Royals. Now, this is probably going to be more doable just because we could also offer like a really good prospect or two and get it to work. But we tried already with a superstar player like Shohei Ohtani. So what if we say we'll give you Logan Gilbert? They would go straight up. I'd like to see teams in these situations have the logic be more biased towards the player they already have. Like, they've developed Witt. They know Witt at this point. I don't think that you would make this trade if you're the Royals, mainly because of the familiarity factor. I think there should be some of that bias in here. Now, granted, I'm offering an 80 overall player, although Witt has A potential. So that would work. Now, what about not for a top prospect? What if, like, see, that's not good. Chris Flexen should not be anywhere close. See, Chris Flexen and then a C potential player would get Bobby Witt. That's just not good enough. Let's say the Twins are terrible and the Mariners aren't, and they're wanting to get Carlos Correa. What would it take? Flexen has so much value here. Why is that? He's just like a solid pitcher. It definitely seems more difficult to acquire veterans. I think that's where they focus their attention. So you can't just, like, easily get Shohei or Ohtani or one of these star players. But I think they need to do the same type of thing for the elite prospects. What is Flexen's potential? I'm curious because it just seemed like his value is so high. Potential is hidden here in the rating information. I just sometimes forget exactly how to find it. Edit player. Is it general? No. Attributes. There it is. Batting. The hitting. Only 82. So yeah, that's a little weird. But, you know, trading for veterans does seem to be more difficult, at least. There's just the next level, I think, is making sure you can't screw the CPU for prospects. Let's try trading for Tatis, Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert. Yeah. So if you want to trade for the star players, it's really difficult. And in our case, we just can't pull it off. We don't have the prospects to even to try it here. We would need like a couple top 5 guys or top 15 guys. Try Julio Rodriguez. I can offer like 3 good young A potential players and we're not even close. So that's refreshing. I kind of want to see, though, just where the line is drawn. Like, where can I start to actually get players? Now, this is obviously not a good deal for me, giving up so much for, like, Carlos Rodon. But we would just be there. Barely. But this is just giving up way too much. What about 2 players? You can get Devers for 2 really good prospects, basically. Gilbert's more than a prospect now. 80 overall starting pitcher. But you'd be giving the Red Sox pretty good value here, I'd say. Still like to see Devers be harder to acquire, mainly because he's 25. Still has... 2 years isn't a ton, but 25. Try Juan Soto. Yeah, Soto's going to be tough. I think they used him in the example in the live stream. So that trio isn't getting it done. Wow, Nico Horner is top-rated player here on the Cubs now. That's so weird to see. Man, the Reds. I guess I didn't realize how much the Reds gave up this year. Obviously, Sonny Gray, Suarez, and Winker are on the Mariners now. Joey Votto, I mean, you got the guy that's been there forever. Tyler Mahle's solid. But, yeah. I like Aquino. Really want to see him step it up from this. He hit a bunch of home runs in a short amount of time in 2019. That was fun. Yeah, where's Castellanos? Brewers got way too much pitching. Now Yelich is down to an 85. Yeah, definitely a fall the last couple of years. You have to adjust the ratings. It's been 2 years. Shocking. Phillies. All right. Pirates best player, Brian Reynolds. I got Hayes here at an 81, a potential. Cardinals, Arenado. Tyler O'Neill at 90. Wow. That's big. Ketel Marte's at 90. Zach Gallen. Best pitcher in the world if he's playing me. He's still so inexperienced. I feel like he's been around longer because I've been playing in my franchise and he's been there the entire time, ruining my life, basically. But I mean, he made his debut back 2019. Who was he with before the Diamondbacks? It shows total here. Who was he drafted by? I forget. I don't remember who they traded back 2019. Or the player that would have gotten him. He was with the Marlins. He got traded for Jazz Chisholm. Really? Interesting. So that's like a prospect swap that worked out for both teams then. I want to look at all this on the main menu here. Marcus Semien, top player here on the Rangers. 97 overall. So had the one big year with Toronto, 45 home runs. I forgot he hit that many. Jeez. Garver, Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager. Only an 80. And that's as long as the contract can go. 10 years, huh? Yeah, I guess I always thought Seager was a little more, had a little more pop, but I guess that's not the case. What do we got here for ISO? Yeah, it's still good ISO. He's still got good power. 80 just feels a little low. Defense drags it down, though, a good bit. His defense is just okay. John Gray. Got the champs here. Still can't believe Freddie Freeman left. That just feels like wrong that he's not there. I'm actually shocked by that. Do players have the ability to exceed their potential? Not as much as I would like. I wish the potential would move more with their performance. Potential is very important in this game. But the thing is the only way to realize your potential is to play well. If you don't play well with a player, if they have a potential, it simply doesn't matter. They will hit a ceiling if they don't rack up the right stats. So in that case, potential truly means potential. Doesn't mean he's going to get there. It means if he plays well long enough, he can eventually get to around this overall. Eduardo Escobar. Okay. Hey, Michael, glad you could make it. Potential moves on a monthly basis. A player needs a good month to move potential. Yeah, I haven't really seen it change a lot for my players in past franchises, so I'm not totally sure. I don't have a lot of experience in this compared to like playing Madden. Nelson Cruz. One of my favorite Minnesota sports free agent signings of all time, by far. How can you not love Nelson Cruz? I've seen some of these rosters a bit already. Yeah, Freddie Freeman here. This just doesn't make sense. They already got his picture in there and everything. They're quick. They probably had a couple weeks to do it. Pretty shocked about that. I would like to see them tweak their overall formula a bit. Like, it really favors players who are truly well-rounded, and sometimes you have players who might have a weakness, but if that drags down their overall too much, I feel like it doesn't really reflect their overall impact, just because they might have a couple areas that are not all that strong. I think there's a little too much weight in the fielding, too. One of my least favorite Minnesota sports signings. Yeah. He enjoyed playing y'all. It was probably what it was like for me growing up watching Frank Thomas take on the Twins and like, hey, maybe this time he won't go yard. What do we think of the Yankees this year? I'm not really sure what to expect from this team, because I felt like they'd be in on Correa or Story, you know, just typical Yankee stuff, and instead they trade for Josh Donaldson, and they've just been kind of quiet beyond that, you know? What are some of my favorite Minnesota sports transactions? Not necessarily signings, but trades, call-ups. Well, I talked about the Nelson Cruz one already. Back when the Twins were having their dominant run in the Central, they made a trade for Shannon Stewart, who played outfield for the Blue Jays. And he helped them go on a little run to go to the playoffs, and he had a good stretch there. So Shannon Stewart's one that always pops out to me. Obviously, getting Jared Allen from the Chiefs and having him put together what could end up being a Hall of Fame career one day. If not, he's one step away from that, you know, like a team Ring of Honor type of player. Yankees are a 4th place team. We'll see. I know we'd all love to see that. I'm just kind of baffled that this was their off season. Hunter, I will be doing Road to the Show. I'm going to at least try it. We'll see if it turns into like a full series and everything, but I'm going to give it a shot this year, at least a few videos, and we'll see what it's all about. Antoine Winfield, Pat Williams. The Vikings have had some awesome free agent signings over the years. Linval Joseph back in 2014. Man, Gossman was so good last year. So dominant. Now, what do we think about this team? Mike, are you still here? Is this team really any good? I hate that they rebuilt so quickly. Really not a fan of that at all. What happened to Lance Lynn? I didn't see anything today. He get hurt? AJ Pollock. He's nice to have when you take on lefties. You know, oh, knee surgery? Oh, okay. Out till mid-May. See, Pollock, he's always in play when there's a lefty on the mound. Moncada's got to get it together, though. Is there a career awards page yet? I don't believe so. The main new thing here in franchise mainly seems to be like logic stuff for trading and some of the off-season stuff. And I've been going through this pretty slowly here. So let me get to the off-season. I think I have to turn a bunch of stuff to auto because this is taking forever. I just want to see what the off season can look like here. Any luck finding PS5s? I haven't searched for one in a while. I don't know that they're a whole lot easier to come by, but I think Xboxes are getting easier, but the 5 I think is still pretty difficult. I haven't obviously been hunting for a while, but I don't know if any retailers have done a better job of keeping it away from bots or whatever. And then you just got, you know, people scalping still. I think still trying to turn $400 or $500 profits on these things. It's ridiculous that they're still behind. Are the X's still tough? I see the S's in stores often. The X, I remember I saw a notification the other day, like GameStop had a bundle, and I saw the notification way late. And I was like, I'm just going to see if it lets me put it in my cart. And it did. I don't know if it would have let me check out, but I was like, oh, this seems way easier now. I don't want an X right now, so I didn't buy it. Yeah, the S's are not hard. I don't think there's even a secondary market that's like ridiculous for the S. And that's fine, like if you just want like an Xbox so you can play Game Pass. Just pulled off a trade. I want to check out the transaction log too at the end of the year. Taylor Rogers traded to the Yankees for a couple prospects. What do you think of that trade? I don't know the prospects. 67, young. I would hope at least one's B potential, if not both. Stories ratings still look good to me. He was top player on their team. The main reason I want a PS5 over Xbox is Ratchet & Clank. Is that game good? I thought Ratchet & Clank was a great game. I'm like a lifelong Ratchet & Clank fan though. It's not like the biggest game if you're really like focusing on that. There are so many good PlayStation exclusives. But yeah, Ratchet & Clank's a great game. Now they traded Jorge Polanco for 2 more prospects. How's that one? That's a 71 overall shortstop. I don't like giving up Polanco on that deal. Trey Sweeney, 2021 first round pick. Okay. So we're not seeing like 2C potential prospects get these guys, which is at least a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, we didn't make the postseason. Let's see some of the transactions. I think that's in the calendar, right? How do I see the transaction log? In the off season, you see it in the calendar. Doesn't show here in playoffs. Okay. Well, let's try getting to the off season then to see what happens there. Who wins the World Series? Dodgers beat the Blue Jays. Retirements. All right, I want to sim to free agency. I just want to see some of the deals that end up happening here. So Max Muncy to the Astros, about $20 million a year. Trey Turner to the Reds, 9 years, $237 million. Edwin Diaz, big closer money. Taylor Rogers now going to the Red Sox after the Yankees gave up top prospects for him. Nathan Eovaldi. That's a cheap deal. It didn't pop up a ton of notifications there. I want to see some of the trades that have been made here. So we got Avisail Garcia for Nick Ahmed and Madison Bumgarner. You got Alex Kirilloff for Caleb Killian. That was a deadline deal. So they swapped Kirilloff for kind of a similar potential and overall, just at pitcher instead. Some of those like lateral moves to me are a little bit weird, especially when it's the top prospects where it's happening. Rangers signed Tim Anderson but have Seager and Simeon. That's another spot that I noticed in 21 I felt was weak. Like the Rays in mine just had way more infielders than spots to play them. So here they have Marcus Simeon and then Seager and Anderson both at shorts. You can obviously play either one at second or third. But do they manage the team under that expectation, or do they still try to add, you know, third baseman? You'd obviously play one of them over at third. Showing every little deal here in free agency, not just the big free agent money. So the main thing that I think they improved was making it more difficult to trade for veterans. Trade for like stars, rather. I still think it looks a little easier to trade for prospects, but if you want to bring in, you know, Fernando Tatis or Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani to your team, it might be impossible. I wasn't able to do it with the Mariners at all. you're limited to 3 players in a trade, and even the 3 most valuable players with the highest potential weren't even really all that close. So overall, there aren't a lot of big improvements we can see here in franchise, and I forget some of the other little things they touched on. I have to watch the video again, but it's pretty similar to 21's, and it looks identical with the interface. Alright, so that's a look at franchise mode. I'll jump into Diamond Dynasty here for a second. I'm probably going to be ending stream here soon. Minnesota Pilots. I'll just stick with the defaults here, just to check out what is in here if you're in the Diamond Dynasty. Yeah, I think I can get past the tutorial. Oh, it's gonna make me. It's my starting team, play, collect, and build. You got some quick missions. XP is earned by playing games, used to progress and unlock rewards. Stubs are the currency that buys items or packs. This is your first mission. We've created a moment in the bottom of the 9th. Your goal is to score the game-winning run. Good luck. Well, it's taken me in. Didn't really ask. So we are in the bottom of the 9th, trying to win. I'm guessing it's on like rookie, and I'm just trying to score a run. And I have runners at the corners. No, the base is loaded, nobody out. Christian Arroyo. Hey, what's going on, Jonathan? We're just checking out the show 22. We just got in the Diamond Dynasty. I only played this mode for 7 minutes in MLB 21, according to my universal profile. Oh, that's cool. When you hold the right trigger, it brings up this card. I don't play Diamond Dynasty, really. I don't watch a lot of it. Sometimes I watch Bengal stream it, but I don't really know a lot of what goes on in this mode these days. Adam Eaton.
The left fielder, number 9, Adam Eaton.
I don't know about this one. I've gotten a couple bad swings. Oh. Thought it was going to fall in.
Not shortstop.
Am I going to fail my first challenge here? Center field? One of these has to get down, right? No? Probably doesn't help that I end up using my hitting settings here, so I'm not really caring about PCI or anything like that.
Christian Arroyo.
Arroyo left center. Okay. Second try. So I completed the moment. Complete your first collection. Collections are organized by groups. The starter groups. Your first collection. Collect one item gets you 125. All right, now what? Customize your squad. Let me guess. I have to optimize my lineup. Oh, you collect a card but can still use him. How long have they been doing that? Wait a minute, that's a 72 with 93 contact? What am I missing here? These aren't like franchise overalls, are it? I'll show you all my settings here in a second. Get 3 outs and win the game. But these are the settings that I play on just to keep everything pretty ratings based. These are rookie difficulty missions, but you know, I play in a way that's very simple. I'm only hitting one button to swing, no aiming the PCI or anything like that. I'm just trying to either swing early or late, and the player's ratings really dictate what happens. For pitching, I have classic, which means I am choosing the pitch, where I would like it to go, and that's it. If the player's ratings aren't that good, if his confidence is low, might not go where I want it. Also, just natural baseball variance, because you're never going to hit your spot every time anyway. But that means that there's very little skill impact in the way I play the game. I leave as much up to the player ratings. I mean, there's more ways I could probably make it rating based, but it's a very ratings based way to play the game, because that's how I like to play franchise.
Now batting, second baseman, Labor Torres.
I'm excited about the Mariners. I think that they're going to be a really competitive team. I think they got a shot to make the playoffs. It's nice to see that team, you know, like, you hear about these teams rebuilding all the time, and finally to see one that seems to be rebuilt and has a chance to win. I like that it's a more realistic way to play. I kind of like it. Yeah, it's just if that's your style. If you want to, you know, focus on getting better at the game, your skill, and you want that to matter, there's nothing wrong with that either. This is just how I like to play. Now, granted, there are some things that, you know, you might not enjoy. Like when you have a well-timed swing and your player just misses and you strike out. That happens because sometimes players just miss. The plate vision rating ends up playing a big role. But I am very much okay leaving things up to player ratings. It's what I enjoy most about sports games and what ultimately immerses me in playing them. I like handling the strategy side of things. I want the players to mainly control the outcome. See ya. You know, the Twins could go either way this year. I love the offense. The pitching scares me. I think that there still has to be probably a move made, or they have to really have like Ober and Joe Ryan solid this year. Dylan Bundy's got to be, what was he, really good 2 years ago? Like, a lot of things have to go right for the Twins to be in that conversation. Oh, what happened? I was trying to open a pack. Sports talk, debate shows, not really. Not on TV, no. Those are just drummed up to create a bunch of talking points to get engagement on social media, really. I like watching, you know, stuff more so on YouTube. Like, I watch a lot of, like, Pro Football Focus's videos. I think they do a really good job. What'd I get? Chad Green. Give me a twin. If you want an experience like that, why don't you play a game like Out of the Park? I will be giving it a shot this year. programs. I don't know at all like how this stuff works. All I know is that when I play franchise, I'm still getting XP and I have no idea what it's really earning me. I have 8,700 XP earned. That must have all been from that first game I played. So you can earn all these packs just by playing the game. Like, what I do appreciate about Diamond Dynasty is that it seems there's a lot you can do without, like, buying anything. There's a lot of stuff to earn and collect. And it's just the most intriguing looking version of this to me. Did I end up getting a lot of packs? Oh, yeah, I did. I will open a pack. Not opening all of them here. I'm probably going to hop off here soon. I might stream again tomorrow, though. Noah Syndergaard. This is weird to be opening packs. Yeah, so those were all the ones that came with my version of the game is all. So that's a little look here at Diamond Dynasty. Does that mean I have more time played in it than last year already? Wait, what's this? Oh, is this like setting up my ball player? I don't want to do this, really. Joe Random. I didn't... Oh, it makes you just do that. Okay. All I wanted to do was see my universal profile thingy. Oh, 6 minutes. I've still played more Diamond Dynasty and MLB 21. I'm looking forward to having Joe Buck and Troy Aikman from Monday Night Football. I think that's a much better crew than what they had for the last handful of years, really. And it switches up things on Fox, and it gives Kevin Burkhardt a focus, and he's been phenomenal. Yeah, I like Burkhardt a ton. All right, that is a quick look then at MLB The Show 22. Perhaps I'll stream more tomorrow. I just wanted to check this out tonight, and we will definitely be checking out Road to the Show soon. I want to see if we can have that return to the channel, have some player-based fun. But yeah, I mean, it's very familiar, MLB The Show. I enjoy this game every year. I've been playing franchise for the last 12 months. I'm going to continue playing franchise. I like the way the show, handles their formula. It's not the easiest game to get into. It has a learning curve to it, but it allows you so much gameplay customization. I definitely enjoyed my time on it tonight and want to play more tomorrow, especially checking out Road to the Show. I got to think of a player to make then. Well, that is going to do it for me tonight, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the live stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. There will be more MLB The Show 22 content to come. Again, thank you for the review copy. I got that from Sony and San Diego Studios. But that is going to do it for me tonight, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your night. And I will see you all again soon.